Other shows have tried to emulate that type of formula.
The truth is, when I've pitched my shows in the past, I've been like, so the character's kind of like Larry David, and there's kind of, everyone has probably gone in and pitched like, oh, it's kind of Curb meets something. That's probably been said a million times now.
I feel like it's used as a shorthand when talking about a comedic style.
Will people try to replicate Curb Your Enthusiasm? Can they replicate Curb Your Enthusiasm? There's only one Larry David.
I actually have a crush on Larry David. I know, it sounds crazy, but he is the cutest thing. He's so nice, he's so funny. And I'm sure women fall in love with him all the time.
Everyone's like, what would Larry do? I mean, it really becomes this thing.
Larry's character and point of view is so strong that people have already, you buy into it automatically when you start and watch the show.
His ability to carry it for so long and to create a cultural impact and iconic moments, it's a time capsule into our psyche.
I hope that Larry creates something else that's just as big or even bigger, and that I'm a part of it.
The show is ending and I'm heartbroken that I wasn't brought back again as like a little throwback to, hey, remember Maria and the chicken salad or something?
The only thing my regret, which I could not control, is that I did not come back more on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like he could have brought me back with the Katrina family. Could have been the prostitute that lived in Katrina. I don't know.
How will I look back on it? Oh my goodness, a fortunate, blessed moment and time in my life that I don't know if I would be the same without it.
No, I just feel so incredibly honored to be part of the legacy that Larry left behind with Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like Seinfeld, I think it's going to live on in perpetuity as relevant.
I'm just so glad that I could be a part of it and add my little flavor to it.
Just to know that I was part of something that really did move the needle.
It's still one of those things on my IMDb that if I'm looking at it or looking at a resume or a bio or something like that, I'm like, yeah, I did a few episodes of that. How fun was that? How lucky was I to get that?
When we go, we go. What do we leave? Maybe kids, if we're lucky, and maybe a few things on a celluloid, a few frames that are memorable. This is one of those things. So it'll always be there.
Yeah, I was there for maybe 4 or 5 days, and I still remember it like it was yesterday.
It gave me a different audience. Like I was known, of course, with the Black audience, with all the shows I did Next Friday in the movies, but this opened up my audience to a whole nother society, I say, because people are like, where you find her? I was like, oh, I've been around.
Until Larry David, I had a really hard time getting seen for comedy. People just didn't think I was funny, and I didn't blame them because I didn't have the experience. I also didn't have the reel to show for it, But let me tell you, once Larry thought I was funny, a lot of people started agreeing.
And then working with people like Paul Dooley, who's been around forever, and just like the guest cast, like other actors that got to work in the episode, it's like, oh my God, like with those moments, like you don't get that again. You really don't get that again.
I still get recognized probably more from my one episode of Curb than anything else I've done. I don't know how to feel about that. Guess it's better than nothing.
I remember the first episode had just come out and I was sort of on a lot. I think I was going to an audition or something, and these two people went out of their way to come over and talk to me. And like, are you the guy on that? There was such excitement. And occasionally I've met that in a mall in the middle of, America. People get excited, never on a lot. Everyone's like, yeah, there goes, yeah, there goes Meryl Streep.
Aside from all the other work I've ever done in my career, it was Curb Your Enthusiasm where the fans would stop me and make it a point to, let me know how much they love the show. So it really is an honor to be associated, to be a part of the cast in any way.
And to this day, I cannot order a Cobb salad in a restaurant If I died tomorrow, it would say, "Here lies the Cobb salad guy," which is a badge of honor. You know, I wear it with pride.
First off, I'm glad that Curb lasted as long as it did. I mean, because you think about it, it's a show with improvised dialogue. Most networks and such are not thrilled about taking that kind of chance.
I'm so proud of HBO for sticking with it for 12 years, 120 episodes. I mean, that's a commitment.
I had no idea that this was going to turn into a 25-year, 12-season, huge success that it's been. I didn't see that at all. I don't know if anybody else did.
I can't imagine what the pitch was like for the show. I mean, yeah, I created Seinfeld. Nobody really knows me, but I was a stand-up comedian, and I just want to do a show that's basically kind of about me, and I'll use my friends, and they'll have their real names, but it's not me, but it is me.
And the way he was doing it is like, it ran for 20 years, and then whenever he's ready, he's like, I'm ready for the next season. They would just do it.
He so knew what the show was, and what it was becoming, and the tone that he wanted, that awkward documentary where people just are rubbing each other the wrong way, and not, and that weird social awkwardness that's where the show lives,
I mean, you couldn't watch an episode without being outraged or laughing from discomfort or feeling like, how is he allowed to do that?
He says the things out loud that most of us think but feel too ashamed to admit.
He would take his character right up to the line that so many of us get to, and then we just like, we're not going to cross it, and he would just put his toe right over the line.
It's changed the landscape in terms of what can be done and what can be done beautifully and well and award-winning and excellent.
It's hard to quantify or qualify where Curb ranks in TV shows because it is so unique, because it's indelible, because it has run for so long and inspired so many different other comedies.
And I think also in terms of making a universal awareness of Jewish humor in a very specific way. I mean, Jewish humor has been around forever, but really kind of on a universal level, you talk to anybody, that has never met a New York Jew, or any Jew for that matter, and loves Curb. It's tapped into something brilliant.
So when I think of Curb, the first word that comes to mind is fearless. It's just fearless. I hope the show instills in all of us. People who watch it, people who continue to watch it, that need to break barriers.
But it's one of the top shows of all time. I mean, you can't have a show for 12 seasons and not be considered one of the greatest shows of all time.
It makes me very sad that it does feel like the end of an era. And it does make me very sad because the specificity of the world and how it's become an inherent part of so many people's lives and psyche and pop culture.
I think Curb will go down as one of the great TV comedies of all time.
If they had another 12 seasons in them, I'd be watching.